Guys, welcome back to the channel and another video on the Fiat 500, which was a non-running diesel. And if you saw the last video, success, we got it running with the replacement engine in. But obviously we still have things to do on this car. Although we got the engine, we don't know the service history behind it. The guy said it was regularly serviced, but we don't know. So we're going to obviously put a flush through it and do another oil change once we've got everything sorted. But one of the main reasons why this engine was a bit, well, the previous engine, should I say, was a bit crap for all intents and purposes, was the DPF. Obviously, I don't think it's ever been looked after properly. I mean, just looking at the inside and the outside of it, don't think it's I think it's just been used as a, well, it's running to the ground a little bit. So, but we've still got plenty to do. So I'll just spin you around and see what's what. Yeah, apologies if there's wind noise. You'll see that it's up in the air because obviously when we finished last time, we finished on a high. We got the engine running, so we left it there. But what we did as well, while we were thinking about it, we got it up in air and we got the DPF off. Now today I've been out and I've bought some of this Wins off-car DPF cleaner. It says removes soot, ash and other contaminants from all types of block DPFs. Supposed to be very good. I'm going to mention another YouTuber here, Salvage Rebuilds. They did it recently on one of theirs. They used this wind stuff and apparently it was really good. So I haven't read the instructions yet, but all I do know is you pour it in there, you leave it for so long, and it apparently then you jet wash it out afterwards. So now, if it's on the car, air's going that way, but we're going to put it in that way so it drains out the other end, so it gets more out. That's what they did, and I'm going to follow suit because it seemed to work for them. And like I say, once we've got that sort of back on, buttoned up, we'll stick the front end on, we'll put some coolant in it, run it up to temperature, stick some flush in it, and then do another oil change once the flush has done its work. Because like I say, we just want to be sure. So, and then we're obviously going to get some, I think we mentioned that as well, we're going to get some injector cleaner, put that in the fuel so it can clean through the injectors. And yeah, once that's done, we can then start buttoning it back together, get the bumper on, lights on, bonnet on, and then start tackling the rest of the car, which sort of be my domain, which will be the cleaning side of things. And you know, you got lacquer peel on top, so we did say that we're gonna paint the roof, and yeah, see how we get on. So yeah, I'll read up on this, sticks in that. Right, we've had this soaking overnight in the DPF stuff, that wind stuff. I mean, I didn't take a picture beforehand, but you can see inside there, you can actually see the mesh on the inside now. Beforehand, with the amount of carbon that was on it, you couldn't actually see it. Now, on top of using the DPF stuff, I've used a little bit of Mr. Muscle, spread the foam in there, then agitated it on the inside there as well, and the bottom of there is all what's leaked through. So just gonna hose that out now and see what that does when we put it back on car, you know, because obviously all inside of here, you can't see inside of there what it's going to be like, but we've done what's been asked. We've cleaned it out. Oh, we'll see. Only thing I'll tell is when we put it back in the car and see if it comes up with any DPF issues, because it does on the dash while this was on the car, and we got the replacement engine in. It came up saying DPF. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Right, while it's up in air, I'm going to do some work. I'll show you what we're doing on that. Pretty similar to what we've done on this one. I know we said last video on it, but getting this ready for MOT, we found out that the rear wheel bearing on this side and the brake cylinder were absolutely knackered, so we've had to replace them. And then while we were there, we realised that the bump stops that sit inside the coil springs were both shagged, so we've replaced them as well. So at the same time, we dropped well, we basically tied it up and hammerized the rear beam on that one. And when this was in the air on the diesel, we realised that one of the bump stops was actually missing and the other one was foobar, so we're just in the process of putting them on. So at the same time, we've done the same thing and done the rear beam. I'll show you that in a second after the day's finished. Right, so this is what we've been up to. Obviously rear beam, we've just wire brushed it and then we've gone over it with some alright, but these are well, this side was knackered and on that side it was actually missing, so we've just replaced those. So what we've got to do now is put these springs back on, raise it, put there's a bolt in for shock there, top of the shock. Hey, top of the shocks. And then that's that bit done. Then what we've got to do is attempt to try and put the DPF back on. So yeah, cut in a bit. And as if by magic, beam's back in position, bump stops in place. So another job ticked off list. Time to try and fit that now. Right, bit more progress. As you can see, front end is on. We've got all the hoses connected up. We've got coolant in it. We have started it. We've got a little bit of an issue with exhaust pointer where flexi pipe meets the cat. So we've still got that to look at. We thought we'd sorted it, but it's not. There's a slight blowing. You might see there's a little bit of fumes coming from it. That's just things that's burning off because we've just had it running for a little bit. But what we're going to do now is we're just going to plug it in and clear some codes, or check if there's any codes and clear them. And then it's pitch black outside. What we'll do is we'll wait until it's daylight and it's decent weather, not raining. Pull it out, drive it out actually, and stick some diesel in it because it needs some diesel, and just leave it running. See if it'll burn, because obviously we've had, putting the engine back together, we've had WD-40, oil, whatever on it, so everything that's on it is just burning off when the engine gets hot. So but yeah, good progress, and catch you back in a bit. Right, back on with diesel. You've seen before, we've put cleaning solution through DPF, we popped it back on, it starts, then it starts billowing smoke out, and then it's cutting out. So we've took it off, and bearing in mind we cleaned this, but I don't know if you can see in there, but that's just a couple of starts and it's already gunked up. So it's safe to say that is, I don't know how to do bleeping, but it's foobarred. So what we've done, I think you know where I'm going with this. Yes, still got it. got more presents. And in here, we've got a replacement DPF. So we're going to put this on. My willing assistant will get this one out. As you can see, we've got a replacement and inside that one. All lovely. So we shall be sticking that one on. But what we're going to do first, before we put it on, we're just going to try it. Make sure it starts now. We've taken that off. That was basically coking it up. It's probably the reason why it died on last engine. So that, and the fact that injectors were probably buggered. So yeah, we'll try that and see how it goes. Right, so we have just tried it. We've got battery on charge. We've just tried it. It does start with the DPF off, so that's good. We was going to fit the DPF, but even though I've paid some decent money for this, what they don't send you, the studs for these. Now, the ones we've got on the old one, there's only one. So we are going to, well, we can't fit it tonight because we haven't got any M8. So where Dave works, he seems to think he's got some, so he's going to get that, and then we'll look at putting that back on. What I will be doing next is, because now we're confident that it was the DPF that was the issue with the running, I'm going to start just putting the front end back together. Lights, bumper, whatnot. And then all these really left to do on this one is put the DPF back on mechanically. We've just ordered some engine flush, so we're going to do a flush on it. And we're going to do another oil change on it. And then we're going to put some petrol treatment, or diesel treatment should I say, through it as well. I think we explained that we were going to do that anyway. But yeah, we'll start putting face back on this, I suppose. Let's crack on. Right, back on fitting this. Dave's got some M8 bolts that we were requiring. Just jacking it up, and then we'll be attempting to put this back on. See how it runs. Right, just to show you, the DPF, or the replacement DPF, is now in position. We've also got some exhaust paste on this joint here, so we're just going to let this cure for a bit before we attempt to start it. So we'll probably look at putting headlights and bumper on, because everything's kind of buttoned up there. The next thing we'll be doing after this will be an engine flush and an oil change. So we haven't got the oil filter or the oil at the moment, but we need to test this first and see what happens with that. So we'll see what happens in a bit. Right, just a quick one. Whole front end back on, headlights in. We have got a bulb out on that side, so we've got to put a bulb back in, but other than that, all front ends back together. Are we going for we're going to try a start?
Oh, why not?
So we'll try start in a second and see how it goes. Right, as you can hear, hopefully you can hear me, but engine, as you can see, daytime running lights out, but it's running. And whereas before we had plumes of smoke coming out, now we've changed DPF over. At the moment, see what happens when we put a bit of rev on it. I mean, obviously there should be some condensation coming out there. bearing in mind we have got new engine, probably got a bit of oiling, it needs a cooler. I have no idea, but whereas before we used to start it, we actually nearly caused an accident last time. There was that much smoke coming out, and it actually literally covered all that. You couldn't see that house, and cars coming past nearly had an accident. So yeah, going all right. I think we're going to end that one there. Yeah, I mean, we've still got work to do on this, so there's going to be another video on it anyway. But yeah, drop us a comment then if you've got anything to say about what we're doing so far, or if you've got any words of wisdom. Like, subscribe, share, and yeah, we'll see you next one.